Hey listeners, Chad here. This episode you're about to listen to with Arj Barker had to have a little bit of editing to go along with it because we kept getting disconnected. So please just bear with us. It's a great conversation and I hope you enjoy it. Now, cue the theme song. Welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. Here we are talking to another great, fun, wonderful, excellent comedian. Let's see if I can find some more synonyms. Delightful, charming, enjoyable. I went to school for writing, if you can tell. Speaking of writing, I was looking at two things I wrote, two scripts, and it's just so great that I am so proud of myself. Where I can just laugh at my jokes, laugh at jokes I wrote a couple of years ago and go, God damn it, that's a good joke. It's kind of like being a comedian. You think I think some comedians watch themselves. You know, that was a whole thing on the Larry Sanders show. Gary Shandling's Larry Sanders, he would watch the show he just shot a couple of hours ago. Live at night when it was airing. That's how it is. You know, it's a similar conversation as I tie this back in to this very special episode. It's a similar conversation I had with comedian Arj Barker. As you have, sorry, I hit the microphone. There's these bugs flying around. I think they're fruit flies. I don't know. It's pissing me off. They weren't in here until I opened the door to get to water a plant. I'm pissed. Anyway, comedian Arj Barker. I sat down with him. To discuss his new record and I believe eventual special, The Minefield. It's an interesting record that he actually recorded here in America. Because if you don't know, Arj is now immigrated with an E to Australia. Years ago. I don't mean now. He did it years ago. And he recorded this in San Francisco. But I say it's interesting. It is funny. And I will tell you that there's a joke early on about a family member, a grandfather, that really that, as the kids say, sent me. But he came back to record it in San Francisco, and it's a good, as he explained it in the interview, it's a good exploration, and now I'm explaining exactly. It's a good exploration of comedy and exploring the inner self and what drives the self, what drives the consciousness. Consciousness powers the body. It's great. Speaking of that, we had a great conversation regarding, quite frankly, it got pretty deep, regarding consciousness and life itself and how life is and the luckiness behind it and how everybody's, working on themselves. You'll hear it in the conversation. That's what I have to do, though. I have to keep promoting. That you stick with it. We are 5 minutes in, though. You'll hear some edit points. We had a couple of instances where on both ends, let me tell you, there were two instances on both ends where we had to take a little stop down, which is part in why you might notice the runtime on this is a little longer. But I'm gonna leave in my instance because it is a classic. This conversation is a little bit longer, and then bam, it cuts out, and it's my fault, 100% all the time. I love it. It has not happened often, but it has happened. Not including tonight or today. Well, okay. So here's the thing. He's in Australia. I'm obviously in America. Well, actually, I'm a Ruski now, hanging out with my boy Putin. uh, so I'm recording this at night. He's recording in the morning. I did that before with another Australian comedian. I did that before with UK people. Anyway, if you want to see, hey, check it out. Arj is online at arjbarker.com, where you can see he's got some upcoming tour dates happening. Obviously, if you are in the Australia area, he will be touring that area. So there you go. But he does come to America every so often. He's from here. His family's still here. Check out the Minefield wherever you get your comedy albums. Check it out right now. And eventually, I believe he said there will be a DVD. So there is going to be a film special with it. But for right now, check out the Minefield wherever you get your records. If you want to follow him online, you can do so at on Instagram at Arj Barker. I believe he has a Blue Sky, a Facebook, and a YouTube channel. Let me mute this. Okay. Arj Barker Official on YouTube, so check him out there. And also, you might recognize him from one of the best comedy shows of the early 2000s, Flight of the Conchords. That's one of his notable works. He's a funny guy on that show. It's an excellent show. Go watch Flight of the Conchords. So check that out. HBO. If you want to see a video version of this show, of this episode, you know what you can do. You can head on over to youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can see video versions of the other conversations I have with your favorite famous people. You can also see video versions of the other podcasts, the Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs and Business News Podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on social media, C+ Comedy on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube, me, Chad Black White. Now, here's Arj Barker.
Hi there.
Hey, Arj, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I think I'm gonna fix my light up better. I usually just start and then see where we're at.
Okay, no worries. Do what you got to do. Oh,
That
yeah.
that's a little. I don't know. That's a little like red and bright. Let me see if I open open this blind over here.
All right, let's see it.
It's just morning time here, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I think you have the Mac follow thing on, so it's like following you everywhere, and it's
Oh,
really
that's
crazy
yeah.
to see it zoom in and stuff.
Yeah, the little AI thing. Yeah, I just did that by itself. That's kind of wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that Zoom or Mac that's doing that? I don't. Maybe it's the.
I believe it's the Mac, and I think if you click on, oh gosh, I don't even know how that happens. Oh, whatever. I think it's fine.
I think it's starting to look a little more balanced the light anyway. And plus, I moisturizer this kind of heavy. This stuff has kind of heavy at the moment, so it's kind of shiny. But what are you gonna do? It's all right.
Yeah. What do you use?
I don't know, just whatever I find at the health food store. Health natural products.
Yeah, I like it's natural. I like a company called Harry's. They make some pretty good decent lightweight stuff, but
Okay.
you know, it's hot here. I know it's always hot there, but it's like we're in a heat dome right now, and I just took my dog outside, and it
Which
was outside for 4 minutes, and it was just drenched.
which city are you in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh wow, awesome. I love Atlanta. I used to go there for gigs. I mean, I'll go there again one day. I've been there for gigs and stuff.
Yeah, I noticed you were touring recently, and that's amazing. You know, after living in Australia for so long, what's it like to bounce, come back to America when you're doing comedy?
I mean, it's fine. It's really are you a comic as well?
No, no, I've done comedy. I've done stand up maybe like 4 or 5 times,
I
but
see.
nothing to scoff at.
Oh, that's all right. Well, it's fine. I mean, I find that I kind of know which jokes, should travel fine in terms of like material, and the audiences are. I've always said it's not really. It's wherever I go, it's my same sense of humor. So,
Mhm.
um, but can I ask you a question? What's the I didn't do a lot of homework because I have a handful of podcasts, so I
No
just sort
worries.
of dive in. Was I meant to prepare anything
No,
for this?
no, no, no. You don't need to prepare anything. I handle everything, and we just
Okay,
have a nice conversation, and then we move on with our lives.
excellent. Okay, well, I'm ready to go.
No worries. We've already started. Also, there's a
Oh,
bug flying around, so if you see me waving, I'm
oh,
not
we're
wiping
started.
away a
You
fart.
you don't do a whole intro or something? Oh,
No,
you do
no,
that
no.
later.
I do that. I do that on my own.
Okay.
After the show.
Well, I love coming back to the U.S. to do gigs, and I plan to do a lot more of it. It's just that at the moment, I'm so committed to my dogs, which
Mhm.
I'm sure you understand. I noticed you have a cat too.
I do.
I love animals, but I'm first time dog owner, and I'm so in love with my dogs. And one of them, she's getting, and they're both over 10, and
Oh wow.
one's 15, and because of her breed, that's pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
She's a French bulldog, and she's 15, and
Wow.
I don't think not a lot of them make it to 15, and so I don't really like going away from home
Yeah. I
because
get
they're
it.
hurt.
What are their names?
Frankie and Freya,
I love that. It's
they're
cute.
sisters, yeah, and they're not biological sisters, although they're probably biological cousins, given how much inbreeding happens with that, purebreds. But they're just yeah, they're my I don't have the human kids, so I
Yeah.
think those guys kind of took are filling that role. So it's pretty beautiful. It won't last forever, but I like to enjoy it as much as I can.
Yeah. I totally get that. When I lost another
Lulu.
cat, it's very cute. That's amazing.
That was their
Okay, good
Christmas
there.
mug.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost.
I'm sorry. How old
No
was your
worries.
cat that passed away last year?
She was 6.
Oh wow, that's pretty young.
Yeah, she had a mass grow on her leg. And it's from, I guess it was from officially I guess the status was it was from the shots that they get every single year. And apparently if you put it in, at a certain point on cats, which they don't do anymore. I think if you inject it like at the thigh, that's when
Yeah.
it can start growing, and that's why they now just do it below the knee. That's what I was
Oh
told
wow.
by my vet. So it started growing in
Mm.
December, and the pet insurance wouldn't take care of it, and then it just kept growing, and then it turned into some type of cancer, and after she had a
You
surgery to remove a
you
leg.
saw it getting bigger and bigger?
Yeah, yeah. I have pictures of it just like getting massive over the next couple of
Oh
months.
no.
Yeah, and then they were going to amputate it. They did amputate it on a Wednesday, and then that Saturday she passed away.
Jeez. Oh, I'm sorry, that's traumatic.
Yeah, yeah, it was rough, just to deal with that, and then it was just me and the dog for a very long time, and
Yeah.
he was rescued, and the woman that rescued him said that her neighbor had a litter of kittens, and she was like, "Why don't you take one? I don't know if you're ready, but She dropped one off here in like July of last year. So we have been together for a year, me and this kitten.
Oh, good. I can see it. I can see her behind you,
Yeah, she's a wild little thing.
blending in. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's the curse of pets is that their lives are, shorter and generally not always, obviously, but they're much shorter than ours, and I don't know, it's kind of brutal.
yeah. Now let me ask you this: do you brush your dog's teeth? I just started this last week, and because I was told it was good for them. So do you like poke around with that at all?
They won't. No, we never did that. We give them these antlers that we get at the store. These. And I say we. I actually share custody of my dogs with my ex-wife. So
Okay.
we had the dogs together, and when we split, it's an amicable divorce, and we never questioned we would share the dogs. So she lives 10 minutes away. So,
Oh wow.
but we give them these deer antlers, and they love chewing on them, and that kind of supposedly helps their teeth stay healthy.
Yeah.
But they would never let us get in there. Like they would just freak out. You'd have to.
Yeah.
They just don't. They don't. Wouldn't go for that. They won't even
Yeah.
hardly. I like looking at their teeth because they're funny, but they don't often even like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like since I started this on Sunday, I tell him to I go Maverick sit and he sits down and then because he's so desperate to get my affection, he's a pit mix. I'll show you a picture of the
Oh,
two of
cute.
them. But it's like
Oh, wow. Okay, cute. Oh, yeah, pretty. Yeah,
he's so desperate to like to get my affection that he'll do what I say. But you're right. Like I try to put my finger in there and he's like, "Don't touch me at all."
yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't. I mean, they don't understand that they can't comprehend that you're trying to do something that's good for them, that helps
Mhm.
them or whatever. Like even a little kid can be like, oh, no, this is important. It's going to keep your teeth good. And then the kid kind of puts up with the dentist.
Yeah.
Maybe not all kids, but with pets, they're just like, what the fuck are you doing? They just freak out. Yeah, it's my first time with dogs. I had a cat growing up, and it's wonderful. But that's why I don't, and that's a long answer. That's why I don't tour internationally as much anymore because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because all
I
those, comedy clubs are going to be around. They might not book me as readily since I've taken myself I've disappeared off the scene, but that's okay. I'll do the smaller gigs if I have to. I don't mind. I'm at a point in my career where I'm gonna enjoy whatever show I do, and I'm
Mhm.
just grateful that I can be on a show. And I don't know, I'm not really I mean, I've had some pretty good moments of success, and I haven't as awesome as they were, they didn't give me some deeper level of fulfillment
Mhm.
that I didn't have in other simpler moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely understand that. It's you get I feel like you are a comedian who can get a lot from an audience no matter the size. And I think that's very important for especially like a working touring comedian who is able to just, accept that their jokes are going to make 100 people laugh or 10 people laugh
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's a very good way to look at the industry because yes you can be fulfilled with money and everything and do your jokes for 10,000 people at a stadium but you can also get that kind of satisfaction and gratification when it
I
comes to
mean,
doing a comedy club.
I have a lot to say on this. Let's take that one from the top again. I love this question. It's an important subject, I think.
Yeah. All right. Now you've had a lot of good jobs. You've done a lot of stand up. Does
Yeah.
success?
36 years now, 36 or 30, almost 37 years I've been doing it.
Wow. Now, have you found a bit of happiness and all that, like throughout all of the years and the ups and downs of it all?
Well, I have for sure, and I feel I've been it's been a, like it's been a journey for sure. I mean, it's kind of cliche, but life is a journey, and it is. And what I learned is that because I was so ambitious for the first probably, geez, 2/3 of my career, because I thought I could get to a level of success, maybe that would, then I'd be like, then life would be perfect, or then I'd be, then I'd be happy. But then more and more, what I've realized is it's just one of those things that kind of happens over time with wisdom and also, exploring and reading and life and talking to people and looking around and just firsthand experience is that external circumstances, whether it's like booking a TV show or, getting paid a lot of money or uh, whatever it is, like an incredible meal
Hmm.
or these things, they definitely will give you a spike in sort of happiness, dopamine or whatever. But generally speaking, like your happiness is an internal thing. Like your peace and your happiness is inside you, and it's not as affected by that as one would think. In my experience,
Yeah.
it's more like, yeah, it just you can't find happy. You can't find happiness out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you can strive for good circumstances, and obviously we all want to make a decent living and be comfortable and stuff, and look after our loved ones. That's totally, I mean, that's all great, but yeah, I just think, I think you can't, there's no one event that's going to make you a happy person.
Hmm. I
But
like that.
conversely, no, even when bad things happen, they don't define you. You can still be happy despite tragedy. Although I know for people out there said, well, I just lost someone or I lost someone close or,
Hmm.
my husband or my child probably don't agree with me. And I'm not trying to say that I understand what anyone's going through,
Right.
but I think in theory, uh, we uh, we determine our own peace and our own happiness.
Hmm. And I think that is that's a very cogent answer, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's tough, especially when a lot of bad things are happening in the world,
I
and some
know, believe
people
me.
like take it in internally. You're right. You have to find that happiness that's internal and really just work past whatever it is. And it's okay to feel sad and to feel angry and to feel depressed. And not to pass off those feelings, but also you can't just live in those feelings. It's
Yeah,
important, in order to recognize them and then try to work with them either by moving past them or moving with them, because at some point you can get stuck. And then on the other hand, there's people who just ignore all that stuff. There's people who don't read the news, who only read self-help books, and they get stuck in that too. So you have to balance what's real and what's not, and what's internal, what's external, and
yeah,
just
absolutely.
be the best version of who you are.
Absolutely. And I smiled a little bit while you were saying that because you reminded me of probably my most brand new joke that I'm working on, where I say that because of I'm reaching a mature age, and so it's time to, it's time to give back and say a few words to the younger generations in the audience, folks in their 20s and
Mhm.
even their 30s. And I say, I don't know if it'll help, but for what it's worth, you know, by the way, this is a brand new joke, so I'm not giving you the full version,
No worries.
but I like it so much I love telling people it. It goes, but for what it's worth, I just want to say to you guys, I know that the world seems like it's out of control right now, and I know that it feels like everything sucks and like there's no hope. But I want you to know that I've seen a lot of shit go down in my life, and this is definitely the worst I've seen it. And I'm fucking scared. And then I go to this whole like then it goes to this long kind of a monologue where I'm like fighting back tears, talking
Yeah.
about how, well, when I was growing up, we had to worry about nuclear war, but then it kind of went away, and we were like, oh, that's lucky. And then it was climate change, and we're like, okay, but then climate change never went away; it just got worse. And now nuclear war's back too, you know. And then I say, but wait, there's more AI. Now I got to be afraid. It's like a hat trick of existential threats. And then I talk about how I paid $24 for a burrito and like uh how like I don't understand the world. Like I basically just fall apart on stage.
Yeah.
And
I
then
like
at the very end I say to the guys, I say, so I just want to say to the younger folks, like, if you guys come up with a plan, I got your back or something. Like I'm
that.
just used I just absolutely useless, and I love that. I love
Oh,
the guy that starts out like I'm gonna, give you some hope. I'm the voice of reason. And then it's like if a pilot, asked does anyone have any ideas? Ask the passengers. Does anyone know anything about airplanes?
as the plane sits on the tarmac.
Yeah, or worse, while it's in the air, But
Yeah.
to me, that's just hilarious. So yeah, that's my new piece that I'm working on.
That's a good joke. It reminds me, it's reminiscent of in what is it, the Mind Palace, the Minefield, excuse me. Very early on in the record, you
Oh,
do
thank you.
you
Yeah.
talk about your grandfather, and like he's been
Oh,
dead for 240 years, and you say it with a break in your voice, and I cannot tell. That was like I had to pause the album because that was so funny to me. Like it's
oh,
just
thanks. Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's actually become one of my favorite gags. It's the joke is for the folks watching. The joke is basically should we tell them? It doesn't matter. There's a bunch of jokes on there, but yeah, I just get really choked up, because today's the birthday of a family member that passed away, and then it turns out it's my great great grandfather. And the first punchline is, he would have been 247 today, So then it goes on and on, and it's funny that joke keeps getting more developed, because I really
Yeah.
like it. So I keep finding new little things to do in there. So I think there's a line in there that I thought of since the album. In fact, I'm certain of it, where I say, "Rest in peace, pop 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 pop," and it's my great great grandfather. So I was like, "Pop pop pop pop" is grandfather, "pop pop pop" great, and then "pop pop pop pop." So
That's
like,
funny.
unfortunately, people won't hear that on the album, but now they know they can add that on
Well,
there.
you could always throw you're touring this fall and you're going like you do a Fringe Festival, so I'm sure you could pull that back out and because that
Oh,
is
I
a
mean,
very good joke.
no, it's funny, I love doing that. I enjoy performing that one so much because it reels the audience in so hard. And
Hmm.
actually, I've made it more brutal to where like I really see people like almost crying, because because I'm so upset.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I'm doing a fishing, like I'm just slowly just, giving the lure a little bit of giving
A
that
shape.
realistic thing.
Yeah.
And then just set the hook. It's so fun, man. That's the thing. Like, I think more than ever, I realized I always thought stand up was fun, but I don't, I think I kind of took it for granted. Like, oh, this is fucking off. This is fun as shit. I'll keep doing
Yeah.
this. But now I relish it, like the craft and the challenge of it. It's partly because I'm taking an extended break from alcohol,
Mm.
and I realized, and so I said, that's my main buzz now is like, you know, creating an idea and then working it on stage and working it out.
Yeah.
And just getting on stage, that's adrenaline. That's one of the, you know, I wouldn't say I'm 100% sober because I still have a smoke here and there, but not
Sure.
very often, though. But yeah, it's just I enjoyed uh doing stand up even more since I stopped having drinks for now, but who knows,
Hmm.
fingers crossed.
Right. Yeah, it's
It's
there's
I,
something as you said, performing like gives you that adrenaline rush, that dopamine feel of creating something and then eventually showing it off and letting people see what you've done. You spent so much time on it. You're right. It is a feeling that I don't think can be matched unless it is with something that truly, changes your perception, whether it's mushrooms or alcohol or
yeah,
what have you. I can't even imagine because you're a seasoned comic and you've been doing this for 36 years that imagine what you were as a comedian 30 years ago. Like you probably like you can't even compare. And now you are finding this love again for the
yeah,
craft that stand up is, even more so by just being able to write down a good premise and then work through that over the
yeah.
course of 7 or 8 shows until it finds its best
Oh
form.
yeah, it's more like 70. I mean the grandfather joke I've probably done 400 times, I couldn't
Yeah,
even tell you. I've done it hundreds of times and I'm still finding ways to make it better. And so that's the thing. It's incredible. It's incredible how much, and it's a never-ending thing. But that's the same with. It's not special about stand-up. That's I believe that's true for all forms of at least creative endeavors, and probably a lot of other ones too.
that's fair. Yeah,
For instance, I play guitar for a hobby. I love playing guitar for fun. I play
yeah,
I jam out with people, but I've never had a band or anything. But I play electric, and I have my electric guitar sitting in the living room, and I often look at it and just wonder at the potential in that instrument. Like it can do things that no one's ever heard.
yeah.
In theory, it could be, if in the right hands, it could create such incredible music. But
Mhm.
so what I'm doing is I'm playing with it and I'm trying to like pull something out of it, but there's an unlimited potential, but it's like trying to like, hunting for little gold nuggets, and like words are the same. If I put the right words in the right order, will it be a great joke? But then I also have to perform it
Yeah,
correctly. And then I can find a way, oh, actually, this works better. This punchline works better after that punchline. And there's just a million variations and you can never finish tinkering uh and exploring. So,
yeah.
but that's not just stand up. That I think that applies to, I'm sure actors are like, they probably thought I was a decent actor now, when I did this film, but I didn't realize now I feel like I knew nothing about acting.
Right.
Probably I'm guessing, I don't know.
No,
I've
I
done some
think.
I've done a little acting, but my acting's like, I would say I'm much more of a novice actor than I am a comedian,
Well,
probably.
that's a fair assessment, but I do think you're a great actor, a really good actor, because I remember watching you on Flight of the Conchords,
Mm,
and then after that show
that's
ended,
fun.
it's like, it's fascinating because every main character in that show stands out as their own person or as an extension of who that actor is. They're all equally funny, and I remember each and every one of your names as
Oh,
opposed
yeah.
to, there's people on Succession whose names I still don't even know because I just
Yeah.
only learned their characters' names. But to say something about Fly the Concords is I watched that when I was a teenager because that's when it came out. And I
Yeah.
remember learning that you lived in Australia and just like I was like flabbergasted because I think you were the first person and the first celebrity I ever knew that lived somewhere else. And I was just like,
Oh,
holy
okay. I
shit.
was back then I was going or back and forth a lot.
Okay.
It really became mostly permanent about 2015 or so
Okay.
when I met my now ex-wife, and then we got dogs and all that. We got
Mhm.
a dog, we got another dog, but yeah, it's wild. You have these moments where the world, you know, opens. I'm sure now since then you probably, know a handful of people or lots of people who live here and there, but I've when I first started stand up, I didn't realize that people did stand up in other countries.
Mhm.
for the first couple of years, it never crossed my mind. I never just thought in those terms. And then when I saw my friend, he's a guy called Harmon Leon. I seen him at the Punchline one time, and I was like, "Where have you been, man?" And he said, "Oh, I was in the UK doing gigs." I said, "What?" I said, "They do comedy in England?" And I made him give me all his contacts that he had. And there was three addresses that he had in his like little notebook. He's a journalist, so he's kind of organized. And literally the next day, I sent three VHS tapes to the UK
Whoa.
saying, I want to come there and work. And one of them actually responded. And that's why I'm sitting in Australia right now, because that led to gigs there. And I did gigs. And then I ended up going to Edinburgh. And then I met my promoter who invited me to Australia. And, these things, that's how, it's just that, it's like an adventure. You go into that. It's like side quests lead
Yeah.
to, but the main quest continues, That's
Yeah.
video game analogy.
I love it. I love a video game analogy. I play video games all the time, so that's the
Awesome.
perfect way to
Okay.
do it.
Yeah. So, but at that time, my mind kind of was blown and opened up, and I said, "Oh, there's stand up all over, and I
Yeah.
speak the same language, so, and I love traveling. I wanted to travel, and I loved it. You know, I was in my 20s, and I mean, I couldn't think of anything better than to. I skipped college. I mean, I went to junior college, but I just wanted to do stand up,
Mm.
so I just was like, yeah, I'll go 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And I started going for 3 months at a time, based in London and, just going all around there. It was a wonderful
Yeah.
time.
Man, that's great. And now you have the exact life you could not have dreamed of. Something so beautiful and so pure, and you feel it like in your heart and in your head that that's exactly where you should be.
Well, I want to say that I wish it was that, clear cut and simple, but I have I definitely am grateful for a lot and I feel pretty good, but I wouldn't say there's that's the thing. There's no real point for me anyway in my life where everything's perfect and I
Mm.
think, oh, this is exactly just right and I'm exactly who I want to be. I mean, I feel like I make progress, but
Yeah.
but I'm not I don't want to say that my life's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I also don't think it ever will be. And I
Mm.
think that's part of the secret for me is that to let go of that expectation and take your wins where you can.
Yeah.
It's like today I feel healthy. I'm going to the gym after this, and I went, and I love and I'll feel good. But a week from now, something could happen. I might not be able to go to the gym. That's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And eventually I won't be able to lift the same weight or health is out of our hands to some degree. Um, Relationships are tough as hell.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people out there know that that's the truth. But some of them are, and you know, there's definitely it's been awesome, and I do love this country, and but I also love the U.S. and stuff, and obviously it's sad to see the degradation of that country that's been
Yeah.
occurring. It's
Yeah.
incredible, but it also affects the whole world. We're out here, all the prices gone up. People are everything's gone up, energy, everything. It's a world. We live in a global economy, global world. And everything affects everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was really, really, really sorry to see that. I guess my point is, yeah, I guess I was just trying to say that life is never. There's never a point for me where it's like, okay, this is exactly perfect how everything should be.
Hmm.
Uh, because life will always throw a fucking curveball at you, it
Oh
always
yeah.
will. And I think if you can enjoy the battle in a weird way and try to enjoy the struggle, knowing that it's it's incredible to be alive. It's incredible to even be here to struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not a given. You know what I think about? And one of my new bits for my next show is that I talk about the odds of being born are so small because everything had to work out for us to be who we are. Everything had to work like our parents had us on a certain day. They decided that they were feeling frisky or whatever, and they had us. And and then I say to people, I said, if your parents got distracted, would you be here right now? If they said, let's watch a movie instead, and they said, well, most people said, no, I wouldn't. I guess not. Maybe somebody else would be here. Maybe they did it the next night, but everything happened exactly how it happened. I said, that's
Yeah.
incredible. I said, now we'll go back one generation to your grandparents. If either of them had said, "Oh, let's read a book. I just want to finish this book. I'm not in the mood." They might have waited a couple days or whatever. What are the odds that this exact person would be here right now? It'd
Yeah.
be a different person or no person at all. And I said, okay. So then people are like, oh, they start thinking, oh, that's pretty wild. Then I said, go back. Let's just go back 6 generations, not the 1,000 generations that they estimate, roughly 1,000 to 1,500 generations. The average person goes back. Just 6. Do you know how many great 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 grandparents you have?
A lot. So many.
200. I think it's 264.
Wow.
So now you have to apply that same logic. If one single one of your great 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 grand so the point is that the odds of existing are phenomenally small. And if in case anyone's curious, the punchline of that, because again, in stand up, I feel I want to convey cool ideas like that,
Yeah.
but then I feel obligated that I need to make people laugh because otherwise people came to the show and said, "Oh yeah, well that was interesting, but we didn't come here to listen to Eckhart Tolle. You know what I mean? We want to like." And I love Eckhart Tolle, by the way, but they said we want to laugh, which is understandable. The name of this place is the Laugh Hut. Like what
Yeah.
the fuck is this guy talking about? So I don't want to get in trouble. So the final thing is I say, you have 264 great 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 grandparents. I mean, imagine if a single one, just one of your 128 great 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 grandmothers on the night in question said, "You know what, sweetheart, let's let's just try that other thing you're always asking me about. You know, how bad can it hurt or whatever?" And so it's probably a little crude, but
I love it.
it's fun. People enjoy it. There's other tags that are we won't get into, but uh, but I really love the idea of that. It's really incredible just that I'm even sitting here and that you're sitting there. And
Yeah.
so I tell people, don't think that you know your existence is just some fluke. I mean, you could argue it's a fluke, but I like to think that it's like divine,
Yeah.
beautiful, that to exist at all. Anyway, and I could be wrong. It might just be random, but it gives my life personally. It gives my life a little more. Uh, uh, I like to. I'd rather believe in something that I can't be 100% sure about than not than choose not to believe in it because I can't be 100% sure about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
I
think it's
like that.
more fun to believe. I think it's more fun to believe in shit like gnomes and all kinds of wizards and all that. No, maybe not, but I'm
I was with you. I want to believe in gnomes and wizards and stuff like that.
well, some people do, yeah. The crypto guys, cryptid, not crypto. Those
Those
are the crypto guys. Crypto guys believe in something else.
they believe in Mars men going to Mars and living there and that's the life forever.
Oh, the worst. That's just the worst human being possibly on the earth. But anyway, uh, yeah. Sorry, I got carried away. But it's wonderful to be alive, and uh, I don't think. Yeah, I was just responding because I didn't want. I certainly didn't want to give you the idea that my life was that I figured life out or that it was perfect. But I just what I know is that I'm more relaxed in
Yeah,
its imperfection now, and I do maybe it's because you just get older and you think, fuck, how cool is a tree? Like littler things make you more happy, like
yeah,
see this tree and you're like, Jesus, that's incredible the way this thing just sprouts out of the ground, just life in general. For some people it's mostly human based, they go crazy when they see babies and stuff. That's fine.
yeah.
For me, I love nature and animals, and I love consciousness is one of my favorite subjects. That's why my album, that's sort of a central theme.
Mhm.
And to be honest, it had to do with it was inspired somewhat because I lost a close friend. He suddenly passed away, and about 3 years ago. It's my arguably my oldest friend since first grade. We met,
Wow.
and like a brother in terms of closeness, and just like one day, just gone, and so that forced me to sort of want to like even though I already was curious about stuff like life after death, and I listened to a lot of those near death experience videos, and I have books on it, but now it sort of intensified my interest in that.
Yeah.
It's suddenly like, okay, now I really need to know, is there something here?
Mhm.
And so then I've started learning more about what they know about consciousness, and and even more exciting was what they don't know about consciousness. So do you know how it's this big mystery still, like why we're aware, why we have a single experience? Why aren't we just fleshy robots that just have imperatives to like eat
Eat,
just to stay
drink.
alive? But why do we have the experience of eating a sandwich or having a cup of coffee? They don't know. They call it the hard problem of consciousness. How does a group of atoms that make up your brain produce this incredible ability to experience,
Yeah.
to have a sense of anything? And that's so wild to me, Chad,
Yeah.
because the one thing without which we wouldn't know anything, we seem to know the least about. Like we can learn everything about a housefly. We can learn everything about a any subject, just about. We can explain the behaviors of animals to some degree. We can understand water and chemistry, and like science is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not even having a go at science at all, but it's literally the one thing without which the, we there'd be really, from our perspective, nothing
Mhm.
without consciousness.
Yeah.
And yet that's the thing we don't understand. Well, to me, that's a clue that consciousness must be the key to the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. I
It's
like
got to
that.
be. I mean, I feel like it has. I just feel like it flat out has to be. And
And
that's just a dumb. I'm not dumb, but I'm also not. I don't have a college degree or anything. But it still seems black and white to me. Like when you put it together like that, it just seems like that's the biggest clue right there. It's
Mhm.
got to be consciousness. It's got to be
Yeah.
the key. And so based on that, I think uh, Also, I know 100%. I'm far from certain that the brain is really the source of consciousness. In fact, I like some researchers like Donald Hoffman,
Mhm.
who's incredible, and he is a proper scientist and incredible mind. And I don't know him, but I watch his videos and tried to read his book. It was a little bit intense for me to understand it, but
I bet.
I think he would argue that consciousness is creating the brain, and consciousness is really generating our whole what we call the world.
Yeah.
And I'm more I'm tend to think that's probably more accurate than what science tells us the brain is. We don't know how it's doing it, but the brain somehow is giving us this you know
Electricity.
this experience, this consciousness. They call it the ghost in the machine. Again, it's like
Right.
if you assembled the right, if you had an intricate enough machine, would it suddenly be self-aware? Uh, and that's why, obviously, that a lot of people will be thinking about AI. That's what they're talking about.
Hmm.
But AI is never gonna. It's not gonna be conscious. It's
Yeah.
just gonna get. It might learn reasoning. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna get pretty clever, but it's not
Mhm.
gonna be. It's not actually gonna have an experience.
Yeah. Not like the way that we can, like we're having right now
No,
at times.
because consciousness is something more. It's something beyond, and again, but no one's proved that it is or it isn't. So that's just and I'm just voicing an opinion.
I love it. I love it. I think we need more thinkers like you, and
Oh,
just it's fun. It's just fun. It's just fun to even like even if it's it's just something that you learned last week. It's just something fun to think about.
oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
But it also gives me hope that my friend, like that, I think maybe we're all. I think consciousness is the stuff of everything,
Mm,
and some people might call it say. Some people might say it's God, but that's okay. I don't say that because I think that word has a lot of associations for a lot of people,
yeah.
and it's been thrown around and used to control people, and that's not. And I'm just looking at it more like trying to be very objective and say I think consciousness is possibly everything. So
Mm,
that means that we are all connected, and if not the same thing, and therefore on some level my friend isn't gone, but uh but who knows, I mean, from my from my experience, he is not in this earth anymore, so I can't see him. Or I feel like I've had a couple incredible coincidences though, where
mm.
I felt like he was speaking to me.
Oh,
But I want well, I'll tell you one.
sure.
You have a minute? I don't know if this fits into the theme of your podcast or not, but it was like I was going to shoot this. Actually, the minefield, I was shooting the DVD version in Sydney.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're filming it, and so it feels stressful. Uh, it feels stressful because it was one and done. We weren't shooting two shows. A lot of times, comedians will shoot two shows or even four shows,
Right.
and then they can take the best one and make the special, or blend, or take a few shots from the other one. They wear the same thing. They do the same set, and that's a nice safety thing, but it's much more expensive. And so we were saying, I said, it's a great theater. It's a state theater. It's a beautiful theater here. It's going to be a great audience. Let's just shoot it, and we'll get it. And so I put that pressure on myself. And I was in the hotel, and I was about to head to the theater, and I said, hey Al, if you can just kind of, ride with me tonight, because I wanted I wanted to nail it, but also in the show I kind of talk about him a little bit, and
Right.
I wanted to represent, how, I wanted to do right by him, do right by our friendship.
Hmm.
So I basically just I said it aloud too. I said, I just hope you can kind of, if there's anything you can do from the other side to, kind of, uh, help me out. I appreciate it. So then I didn't think much of it, and I called an Uber, and the Uber was brown. Now, people go, what does that mean? One of our, we had a million inside jokes from over the years. It's like with your old friends, like you have these, you just have these references that some of our references go back to second grade, and we would still quote them. We'd still reference something a teacher said in second grade. Just to it's like this. It was a whole uh, language of inside jokes that we had together.
Yeah.
But one of the front runners in previous years was a friend's dad. Uh, Rest in peace, Tad DiMartini had said he was like an Italian American guy, and he's like one day Alan, I wasn't even there, but Alan was over at their house, like, and he was at his hanging out with his son Mike,
Hmm.
and Tad just casually said there was like a brown car, and Tad said, "I like brown cars," and we just seized on that quote, and it was always like brown cars. It was just like it was just something you'd say just to make us smile. You'd say, "So you like brown cars, huh?" Something like that. It was just weird, and wasn't always like not hilarious, obviously, but just comforting inside reference that we use. And so this fucking Uber is brown. Now,
Hmm.
people watching, just ask yourself, like, how often is an Uber brown? It's not. I looked it up. It's under 1%,
Wow.
and maybe less, depending which country. That there's almost no brown cars out there. It's like super rare. And also, if it is, it'd usually be like an older car, like a classic.
Yeah.
But like a newer car that's brown and it says brown. I mean, I challenge people to find a brown Uber. I mean, it exists, but it doesn't prove anything. But to me, it was a beautiful coincidence, and it really moved me. I was like, what? Because to this day I haven't seen another brown Uber show up, and I use Uber all the time because I don't have a car, and that was just that was just kind of cool. I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't prove nothing. There was another thing like that too. I won't say it, but there was another one too, which again didn't prove anything, but it was like, wow. And it was a exact similar thing where an inside joke just fucking materialized on a special day. It was the anniversary of his passing.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so this so and I think other people have, if you talk to people, they'll say something incredible happened after my dad passed away, or
Yeah.
like you hear these stories all the time. It could be the brain looking for patterns, and it might well be, but still, it's still pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Beautiful, still beautiful, beautiful, beautiful synchronicity. That a brown car. Again, to me, that was like I couldn't understate how much of that was a key, prominent inside gag for us.
Man.
That really just primarily was just between me and this one other human on Earth, and so that was really cool.
Uh,
But
I
maybe I'm just kidding myself, but it keeps me happier if I am. So
yeah. No,
um,
I appreciate you sharing that. That's such a wonderful and beautiful story to hear that, because instances like that do make you think, oh, hey, something could be happening and I
yeah,
have no control over it. And like it's just something that just happens and it makes you happy. And that really does fill you up with joy and gives you another reason to keep pushing forward, not to figure things out, but to continue experiencing more things like that.
yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of incredible. It's all anecdotal for the most part about people who have been resuscitated and had these experiences, and they said no, there's a whole nother thing, but there's literally I think it's in the tens of thousands of reports of and that and like a majority of the time the people say this this was a real thing, like they often describe it as more real than real, and they're often in a condition where their brain shouldn't be active.
Yeah.
For instance, if you have a heart attack, oxygen ceases to go to your brain.
Right.
um, and when your brain doesn't have oxygen, it's basically offline, from what I understand.
Right.
Obviously, there's still things about the brain that they're learning, so they might say, well, there's actually
RAM, like
this
there's RAM that's holding it still running in the
yeah,
background.
exactly. That's a great analogy. Yeah, I love that. That's really, yeah, a good analogy. But who knows? But anyway, in general, people shouldn't be having a vivid experience, when they're in the midst of a heart attack.
Mm.
Um, from a physiological point of view, again. And I always want to say I'm not a doctor, and people can argue till they're blue in the face, but I think I don't think there's a sufficient explanation for these experiences.
Mm.
I mean, no one's proved it. There's theory. They say, oh, I think is it apoxia, or a lack of, they say it's a lack
Oh,
of
the lack of
oxygen in the
oxygen.
brain
Yeah.
that's triggering this vivid hallucination. But I don't think anyone's really satisfactorily explained the not only the vividness, but the content, which is corroborated
Hmm.
to have so many similarities. The famous elements. Are you familiar with these things? The tunnel of light,
Yeah.
the seeing
Pearly
the bright
gates.
light that's often described as brighter than a billion suns, but
Yeah.
it's just pure love. And but there's so much we could talk about, because I also did some plant medicines since I stopped doing alcohol, and had some amazing, beautiful experience there. But uh, oh, I hear the guys are doing something. Uh, anyway, yeah, they're not satisfactorily explained how
Yeah.
these things are happening. Also, one final thing on that subject,
Yeah.
and I love this point. I read this in a book. If it was some sort of haphazard hallucination of a dying brain, then you would see you'd see the last person you talked to, maybe the nurse, maybe
Hmm.
you'd probably see your wife and kids, or your boss, like the
Yeah.
way dreams are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you see someone that's you've been on your mind, or you see something in a movie. I just watched a movie. I saw Christopher Walken. Now he's in my dream.
Yeah.
But almost exclusively, they see people who have already passed away,
Hmm.
like their grandmother or their uncle or their parent. Uh, um, and more interesting, they almost never see people that are still alive. They don't see the what you consider to be the more predictable content of a hallucination, which would
Yeah.
be the people that you're in contact with constantly, and or maybe someone sees their mom because they're terrified for their life, and they see people that are almost exclusively see people that have died,
Wow.
which doesn't prove it's real, but it's pretty interesting. It's just like the car thing. It's like it doesn't prove anything, but it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
So I call myself agnostic, but I'm very much leaning towards thinking that there's a much bigger reality than the one we exist in day to day.
Yeah. I appreciate that. That's a beautiful way of looking at everything, and it makes you, yeah, it makes you feel good. You know.
Yeah, it does. It gets me through the day too. So um, that's a big thing. It's like maybe I'm wrong about all this shit, but to me, deciding there's nothing, and like the full atheism thing for me, I find it very bleak, and
Mhm.
I respect people that say, no, it makes me appreciate life more.
Yeah.
I say whatever works for you, you know. I believe it. Some people say, no, it makes me appreciate that this is my life and it's all I'm ever going to have, and I want to live it fully. And so that's wonderful. It's just not the strategy that I employ.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. Well, Arch, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know you have to get back to the plumbing and then you have to go to
Oh
the
yeah, we got
gym.
a big operation going on here. I would say that my final message to everyone is check your flexi hoses. Okay, so if you have if you have if you if you own a home or an
Mhm.
apartment or even if you rent, save yourself the trouble. Look under the sink and just check the connections to your tap. They call it a flexi hose here. It's a little it's like a little it's quite a thin line, but it's kind of covered in kind of a metal mesh.
Okay.
So actually what it is a it's a rubber tube surrounded by kind of a metal mesh, which is meant to protect it. But over time, moisture could form,
Mm.
and you'll see signs of corrosion on that little. We call it again a flexi hose. Maybe Google it or whatever AI it if you guys are if you guys are done with Google.
Yeah.
And if you see corrosion, you want to get on top of that and get a plumber because I'll tell you this: the full force of your water pressure is in that tube, and when that thing breaks, it's like somebody turned the tap on full blast, and it's coming into your house, and insurance will hopefully will cover it, but it's not really worth it going through it. It's been since January. I've been, because insurance takes a lot of time to things get sorted, and it's
Yeah.
been they've been, but it's not worth the trouble.
Oh
So
shit, dude.
just check your flexies.
That yes, that's more continued advice. That's amazing. Yikes. Like I live in an apartment and I can't and then it takes them forever to do things here, God bless them, but still. I just man, that sucks.
Yeah. No, and it's been fine. I have plenty of room, and I really it's been an experience, and everyone's so. But having said that, it would be easier if if it never happened. But I never looked under that. I never knew these things existed till I woke up one day and like a giant like lake came out of my bathroom, and
Jeez.
I freaked out and turned the water. And it only ran for about 10 or 11 minutes,
Mhm.
probably maybe 10 minutes before I got to the main and shut the water off. 10 minutes, like give or take 50 grand's worth of repairs.
Oh my gosh.
So it's upstairs, so it went through the floor
Oh,
uh, and damaged the ceiling in the living. So definitely worth it. Definitely not bad advice.
yeah.
I
Uh,
wish I wish someone had that told me that and said, "Bro, you better have a look," because I would have looked at this thing and thought, "Yeah, that looks a little bit. It looks like it's time for a new one," you know.
yeah. Damn, man. Ugh, that sucks. Again, I'm sorry about that, but at
No,
least
not
it's
at all. No, it's nothing at all. I mean, it's been nothing but a slight inconvenience and it's totally fine. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just moved. I just live in the guest room and thankfully I have that room. And so I'm not complaining at all, but I still want to try to help other people not have their houses damaged. Just trying to help folks out. Yeah.
And I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they sent like an email or something to say thanks or
I'll get
something.
right on. I'll be the first one.
No, yeah, no, you're fine. No. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Uh, I hope I should have researched what the theme of the show was. I just saw the name, the Constitutionals.
Yeah, there's no theme. I just talk to funny, famous people. Not the people don't even have to be funny. Just typically celebrities like you, and
Oh, cool.
I get what I can from it. Sometimes it goes in this direction where it's nice and heartfelt, and we're just trying to learn from one another. And then other times it's a joke fest. It doesn't matter. I love it because I love this conversation. It'll be 13 years in a couple of weeks, and
Oh, congrats.
thank you, thank you. And I don't get paid for it. I've never gotten money. I've never gotten compensation. But what I have gotten is the chance to talk to people like you, and it's really changed everything. Because in my day job, I'm a TV producer. So
Oh, wow.
I get to see, you know, all different kinds of things, but I never get to like be personal about this. And like this has just helped me be able to connect with people like you in your position and just learn from you and just quite frankly have a nice time.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad to hear. Happy to help. And thanks for having us. Maybe we'll do a part two and in a couple of years or whatever. But reach out anytime.
Yeah, man, I hope so. And good luck and congratulations on the release of this new record and special. It's
Oh,
very funny, and I'm glad I got the chance to listen to it.
oh, thanks so much. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's a fun it's a fun album. So hopefully people listen to it. I'm sure it'll be on all the joints like your Spotify's, and even though I don't personally support Spotify. Uh, in fact, I probably should ban it from them because I really don't like what they've done, and
Same.
you know, I I, I canceled my account with them. I canceled my premium, but yeah, they're fucked. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. But um, it's on the other ones too. It's on the good ones.
all of
Shitify.
it.
Let's call it Shitify or Notify. Uh,
Yes, perfect.
but if if you're on that, I tell my friends, I go, "What are you doing?" They go, "Oh, look at my playlist." I know, but it's like people that drive Teslas. It drives me crazy. It's like, it's a great car, I know, but uh,
There's other cars.
this fucking guy is responsible for so many deaths already with the programs he canceled through his Doge bullshit.
Yeah,
They project it'll be in the tens of millions, and unless those things are successfully reinstated, which isn't a given. You can look that up, by the way. I'm not on some like trying to be some like left wing talking point, but
no, I believe it.
the,
Yeah, he's a shitty
yeah,
person.
the experts say it could go into the tens of millions of preventable deaths. A lot of children, a lot of vulnerable people, and it's right on squarely on Elon Musk's. It's directly related to his efforts,
Yeah,
and so, but people said, but it's a great car, and I said, okay, well, I'm sure it is. If I mean, if Hitler designed a car, would everyone run out and buy that?
right. Yeah,
That's a joke that doesn't work, unfortunately. But Hitler actually did help design the Volkswagen Beetle.
yeah,
He was instrumental in that car's production. He sort of mandated that they build a car that was affordable and could fit a family, and that's thus the Volkswagen Bug. We call it the Bug, but the Beetle was born essentially because of Hitler. So that's the joke. But don't feel bad. Audiences do the same thing. They go, "Oh,
yeah.
okay." I need people to brush up on their random fucking Hitler history before they come to my show. Uh, but anyway, someday that joke will work. Maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully that, yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I ended the show. I should have picked a joke that works better than the show on. But anyway, never mind.
I like
That's
it.
the journey. That's, I mean, 35 years. You never know what's going to happen. It's
Hey,
still not easy.
that's comedy. People don't know. People don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, have a great day out there, then, Chad.
All right, you too.
Enjoy your animals too.
I appreciate it. Enjoy your dogs.
Okay. All the best now. See you later.
See ya.